We are live. We are live, yes. Welcome along, boys, together for yet another race here at simracingonline.com.uk. We are in Virginia for round 7 of the S397 GTE Winter Series. VIR should do for a great round 7 as Matteo Dentella and Johnny Gutierrez close it up together for the championship. I am joined today, as always, by Ricardo Riva.
Hey guys, everyone. Nice to be back. Uh, Hope this is a good race.
There we see the standings with Johnny Gutierrez leading with 109 points, followed closely by Matteo Dentella, then Matt Horst with 69 points, Bettini with 46, Joe Brown tops the top 5 with 45 points. I must say, Dentella, what an amazing recovery he has done.
Yeah, absolutely, Lauren. He did an amazing job, and we have to remember that he missed the first two races. The
Yes,
race
that's
number
true.
one that was in I don't
Pittsburgh.
remember. Yeah, Pittsburgh track. He was not racing, and in Detroit he was on the same times as Gutierrez, but he had an issue with the connection, so he unfortunately couldn't done for the race. But I'm looking really forward to this because I missed the last two races, and you tell me guys that were very fun races. I'm sorry about that, but
Absolutely, Monza was a cracking race as well as Marina Bay, but what really amazes me is that Dentella is now only 13 points behind Johnny Gutierrez, as we see the rest of the field with John Villegas having an injury in real life. We hope he will recover soon, and also Tony Talviti with a lot of bad luck in the last couple of races where he was battling for the top places, but then he was hit by many problems. Generally speaking, I think Johnny Gutierrez and Dentella are the guys that deserve to have a shot at the podium. Although I wish to see Joe Brown and Matt Horst, um, closing the fight as they did in Maastricht, where we saw them battling together for pretty much the entirety of the race. Qualifying just started, as we are watching the guys already on the track. This is Matteo Dentella on the Ferrari 488, and immediately Dentella trying to press his time on the charts with a purple sector in the first part of the track. Such a tricky corner, this one. The Ferrari was triumphant here in 2014 with one of the last outings actually for the Ferrari 458 at the hands of Giancarlo Fisichella. He won the race here in IMSA back when GTD Pro still existed. Of course, the GTD regulations will take a change next year.
absolutely. Ericsson
At the
setting
moment,
P1 for now, but
yeah,
I think that
Byron Eriksson with a
Dentella is going to.
144.
Yeah, but I think that Dentella is going to take that lead very soon because yeah, both the first and second purple sectors, and here it is. A nice lap, 143.2.
Yeah, it's a 143.2.
And I was looking at the splits, and he gained almost everything at the first sector because he had like 1.1 second faster than Ericsson on the first sector. Then he was faster, a couple tenths faster every other sector. But seems that the Ferrari of Dentella works really good on the first sector. As we see Matt Horst trying to set his time right now, because I think that 4 seconds it's way too. Oh, big mistake there, and there's no escape in one of the most trickiest corner of the track, and this can be a problem for Matt because there's no remember guys that there is no escape during quali, so he can't go back to the pits. If he goes back to the pits with the escape, he will be retired from the session. so he has to try to get back on the pits. Luckily, he was on the last corner, so probably he's going to be able to do another lap, Laura.
It's a tricky corner, the last one, because you don't see the actual braking point, and so you have to judge it millimetrically to nail the braking point and then move towards the left to try and get the best entry possible. There we see Gilles de Silva in P7. That's yet another livery on Gilles de Silva's car. That's a beautiful livery.
I think that we are going to
Reminiscent
go.
of Nick Newcomb's car back a few races ago, but Gilles de Silva, of course, MVP of the livery of this championship without a doubt.
Absolutely. I think, Laurie, that I'm gonna nickname him the Delivery Man because every time he shows us great liveries. Has Johnny
Yeah, that's
Gutierrez has a
true.
new livery too, or maybe I didn't. I've never have seen them in this. It's very pushing.
Now you missed it. It was Johnny
Ah, yeah.
used it for I think 3 or 4 races now.
And so, as we see, Gutierrez is now trying to push around the track, around this lap. Is not that far from Dentala. He lost, by the way, 3 tenths of a second on the first sector. As we were saying, Dentala Ferrari looks to be the fastest car on the first sector right now. And let's see how Gutierrez closes his lap. 40, 41, 42, 43.6. Amazing last sector from Gutierrez, but it's still not enough. He's still behind Dentella right now.
Ferrari seems to be the car to beat in the first sector. It's absolutely breathtaking to see Dentala getting away about 4 tenths from Johnny Gutierrez. The speed of the Ferrari is just amazing, guys.
And we see that. I'm sorry, I don't know him because I never see him race. But Daniel Alpha, who took the second place the last race in Monza, from what I know, is at the pits right now. So I think he's one of the guys that can have the pace to match Dentella right now.
He was battling with Dentella and Gutierrez for pretty much the first half of the race, but then he had a few contacts during these battles, and then he had to settle down for what was an amazing comeback by himself in Monza. So it's great to see him there again, but he's now P11, and I don't think he's gonna go out of the pits unless he wants to have a go at the last possible moment to pretty much give a psychological blow to everybody else.
Hope he didn't make a mistake the first minute that we didn't saw. So maybe hope that he doesn't have to retire from the quali session.
We see Matt Horst absolutely throwing the Porsche into the corners, although he is already 1 second down on Dentella's previous time. Porsche doesn't look to have enough top speed here at VAR, whereas the Ferrari looks to be the quickest car on a straight line. There we see Thomas Holzel, another great driver, a good race by himself as well, both in Marina Bay and Monza. I think Holzel will be one of the guys to watch for the well of the podium, as we see Bart Ericsson with a good third position at the moment. But this is the
Yeah,
guy
and
you
Laura, I think
wanna
that
take a look at, because he has done a purple sector in the second part of the track. So Dentella going at it again.
yeah, and Laura, I think that Ericsson just improved himself because he was 1.6 behind, and now he's 1.3. So
Yeah,
nice
if
improvement
found,
from Barrett.
yeah,
As we look at Dentella closing his lap
with
and another
an
amazing
amazing
time.
third sector. Dentella absolutely uncatchable at this stage. We will see if Gutierrez can do something about this during the race, because Dentella looks to be the car to beat right now. And there we see Gutierrez himself
He's on the
on an
outlap,
outlap.
so oh, look at Dentella back there. He was still trying to push, probably. And so Dentella is really pushing to get to reopen the championship, to keep the championship open until the last race.
The projection is that if Dentella was to win here at VIR and get both pole position and fastest lap, then he would, and Johnny Gutierrez, if Johnny Gutierrez comes in second place, then they would be tied on points, and they would go into the final round in Austin, tied in the charts. That would be
Yeah,
quite the season finale.
yeah, could be breathtaking. And as we speak, Barrett's still improving himself because he's now 1.2, and Dentella just made the best lap. So another amazing improvement from Barrett Ericsson that seems to be close to, not fast as, but close to Dentella and Gutierrez's
Yeah,
pace right now.
considering the trend that Barrett Erickson had at the beginning of the season, where he was constantly outside the top five, he has been improving race by race. And in Monza, we saw the real Barrett Erickson back again, and I'm pleased to see him kind of get into the groove with that Ferrari here at VIR, which is no slouch as a circuit. So great to see Barrett Erickson competing for the podium.
Absolutely. And Barrett is not the guy that you may want to be battling with, because we know how calm, how quiet he is. He's constantly on the good strategy, doesn't
Oh,
really get
look at
under
this!
pressure. And Gutierrez, I mean, look at how the car jumps around the track. He's all out. Right now, Gutierrez is all out. Oh,
0.023,
oh,
and Dentella there having to take evasive action with good sportsmanship to not be an obstacle for Johnny Gutierrez.
yeah.
I wonder if Johnny lost time, uh,
No, I don't
but
think.
I don't
And
think so. He has the speed. Personal
but
best second sector.
yeah, but not purple. But the most important thing is that Gutierrez matched the first unbelievable sector that Dentella made the first lap he was out. So, because the time Dentella made was good on the second and third sector, but still not good as the first sector he did on the first try, on the first attempt. Let's see if Gutierrez can close, because he showed us that he has a great third sector.
Only
Oh,
just.
1.7.
That's
Sorry,
one hell of a lap from Johnny
0.72.
Gutierrez, but still not able to beat Dentella's lap, which seems to be the pole position official time, unless Johnny Gutierrez can do something about it in the last
Let's
possible
see.
lap.
I
But
think.
I don't think he's up to speed, guys.
Oh yeah, no, it seems that he's pushing. Maybe he's trying to go all out right now. Look at this. He's pushing. Oh,
I think he heard me.
what a first sector.
That's the best first sector we have ever had during the session. Johnny Gutierrez absolutely going at it with the Porsche.
This is mesmerizing, guys.
Oh, look at that! I called this, guys. I called it. I think Johnny heard me
Oh,
and
amazing.
decided to do something about it.
Super
That was
nice
a
line
slight
there. Super
mistake
nice.
there, but
No, I don't think he lost. I actually think he gained, because he was.
Johnny Gutierrez then on the straight, it was now has to position the car to brake for the next corner.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: he's still in front because he has
That's a
one
good,
tenth,
yeah, that's a
one
good
tenth to
second
manage.
sector. That's a good second sector considering the slight mistake before the
Yeah.
straight. Last sector coming up.
But this thing shows how Dentella was good on the second and third sector. Let's see, Gutierrez is really all out.
Johnny Gutierrez comes to complete his final lap, and the final lap of the qualifying,
Oh,
it's
yeah, I made some
143.3.
mistake, and
Slight mistake in the
yeah,
third sector, but the first sector by Johnny Gutierrez was absolutely breathtaking. As Matteo Dentella then is officially the pole man for today. Johnny Gutierrez follows him closely, less than two tenths of a second. Separate the top runners. Barrett Ericsson then in P3 and Thomas Holzel in P4. So three Ferraris out of the top five. And then it's Gutierrez with the Porsche, and as usual, Joe Brown leading the standings of the Aston Martins.
absolutely. And it's going to be fun to see the battle for the third place because between Ericsson and Brown, there's just 6 tenths. So in a
Yeah,
long
and don't
race,
forget, don't forget that Brown and Horst are separated by 1 point. So that's a direct battle between the two.
yeah, absolutely.
There we see the grid for today. Dentella leading in P1, Johnny Gutierrez in second place. Then another couple of Ferraris with Bart Ericsson and Thomas Holzel. Joe Brown completes the top five. Then is Matt Horst on the Porsche. Andreas Seibel in P7. Ed Jones in P8. Great to see Edward up into the top 10. Stephen Wenham in P9. Gilles da Silva in P10. Sanyo Alpha with no time set in qualifying in P11, and John Villegas making a show for it, although he's not going to race today, in P12. Race
So I
calendar,
think,
we are almost at the end. Sorry to cut you off there, Ricardo, but we raced
oh,
in
yeah,
Pittsburgh,
absolutely.
Detroit, and Mid Ohio as the first triple header into the United States. Then we went to Europe for the roads of Holland at Maastricht, back to Asia for the round 5 at Marina Bay, Singapore Grand Prix. Then 2 weeks ago, the amazing Monza GP. And today, of course, we are in Virginia International Raceway. And stay tuned because in 2 weeks' time, we will be back for the last round at Kota. And oh, guys, is that rain? I think so.
Yeah,
It's raining.
that's definitely some rain.
Incredible. Incredible.
This is going to
The weather
change.
condition deteriorating here in Virginia. I wonder how that's going to affect the race. This is incredible, guys. This changes everything.
Absolutely.
What are the changes that you have to make to the car to adapt to a rainstorm like this, Ricardo?
Well, usually the first thing you have to do is to soften a bit the suspensions, because you need the tire to work more. We know that the more rigid, the more hard is the car, the less the tire works on the grip, and the more soft is the car, the more tires have grip. Clearly, if you have a harder car, that car will be more reactive than a soft car. I think that uh, cars were already soft on this track because we saw a lot of bumps. So maybe the suspension could be good for the rain as we speak. But right now the rain just stopped. I'm seeing
Oh yeah,
right
rain
strange weather right
stopping,
now.
sun coming back out. This is weird weather in the U.S. as we saw in the round one. I don't know if you remember, Ricardo, but weather was
Yeah,
chaotic
absolutely.
in
One
round
of the
one.
best races I watched. An amazing race between Bettini was the name, probably. I don't
Yes,
remember.
yes, that's
Bettini
Lorenzo Bettini.
and which is a pity to not see him anymore racing because he proved that to be the on the same pace that Yeah,
And
oh, guys, this
look at
this
Gilles
liver
da
is
Silva's car with that little frog on the rear view, just over the engine block there
this
on the
looks like
Ferrari
a
488.
spaceship. That this definitely looks like a spaceship to me. I don't know if you agree, Laura.
That's a pretty good livery, yeah, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, even this one is a pretty good, and even Matos has a pretty good livery. Just to close uh, the question you made me, you asked me before, Laura. The other probably change you want to do is have a little more wing on the back and on the front. Clearly, on the rain, you have to search for the grip. And the other thing is that you may want the car to be a little bit higher, uh, because to have like the floor working correctly, as usual, you have to higher the car a bit on the wet, because like the rain like have 1 or 2 millimeters more higher the surface of the truck, if we can say that. So to
Yeah, so
make the
you need to heighten
yeah
up the floor to avoid
yeah
standing water pretty
absolutely
much under the car.
exactly that's the basic changes you want to do on the cars, uh, and that's it. But I think that's not going to need something like this, because it's pretty sunny out there right now. So
Yeah, weather changing quickly as we saw rain coming on for the warm-up session, but then disappearing pretty quickly. I wonder how that is going to change during the race. I'm pretty sure everybody is less certain now of the setup that is optimal. There we see Sanyo Alpha finally making an appearance on the track.
and Larry, I was thinking that we made a mistake because we thought that the best car on the first sector, seeing what Dentella did, was Ferrari. But to be honest, Dentella made the best second and third sector, and the best first sector is for
And
Johnny
Gutierrez.
Gutierrez on the Porsche. So it's going to be interesting at the start.
We are seconds away from the formation lap. Cars are lining up on the grid. There we see Dentella and Gutierrez, and Matteo will lead them into turn one. So, as you said, it's going to be critical to see who comes out in front at the start. Formation lap starts now. There we see
So
immediately we see a difference in terms of tire compound, as Dentella has chosen the medium tires, whereas Johnny Gutierrez has done the opposite. He went for the hard tires. So Dentella opting for it's actually the other way around. Guti is on the soft tires, so Dentella opting for a longer stint. Um, whereas Gutierrez maybe hopes for an early splash of rain into the race, although he is the only soft runner in the top 7 pretty much, because the next car on soft tires is Seibel in P8.
I'll tell you this. Yeah, I was thinking that every every Ferrari driver always used harder tires than the Porsche drivers. So probably Porsche have a better tire management than the Ferrari. So it's going to be interesting to see the first laps, because I think that Dentella is going to need at least 2 or 3 laps to get the tires in temperature, and Gutierrez can be super fast at the beginning. So let's really see for the first lap what can happen. Clearly, Dental has a bit of advantage on the start because he can set his own pace, and Garrett has to understand what Dentala wants to do. So it's never that easy to have a good start if you are second or third, especially second, because Dentella can clearly make his own pace as we are seeing right now. Look at the distance Dentella is putting between he and Gutierrez before the start.
Matter of fact, is we do not have many overtaking opportunities here on VR. It's a very technical track. I think the one of the best chances is probably turn one, and maybe the corner before the hairpin before the back straightaway. But it's surely a tough track to overtake. Matteo Dentello then lining up on the inside and bunching up the field as we race for round 7
Dentella slowing down.
here at VIR.
He's almost stopped. He almost stopped on the track. Look at how slow Dentella is waiting for the start line.
Speed limiter will be removed in a couple seconds. And we are racing at Virginia and Dentella, immediately taking the inside, but not enough because Johnny Gutierrez is now under threat from Bart Ericsson. Bart Ericsson might have cracked the top two. There we see the Ferrari side by side with Johnny.
Amazing work there. Amazing
able to cover up from Bart Ericsson. I wonder what's happening behind them. Thomas also, we're riding on board with, is in P4. Matt Horst fell back a little bit. There's a car off that Sunny Alpha. And Joe Brown, look at Joe Brown. He has lost 5 positions. He was starting from P5.
Tricky start
Something
there.
must have happened to Joe Brown. We missed it already. Sunny Alpha already taking a place of Gil da Silva. These two have history. They touched twice at Monza. Side by side they go, and Sunny Alpha made the mistake. The first overtake of the race. Sunny Alpha then up into P8 and looks to be the fastest car compared to Steven Wenham. So look at him.
Samuel's completely throwing it away. I mean, he's pushing like hell. Probably he feels that he has the pace to match the first guys. So probably he's trying to lose less time he can. And he already made a bunch of position because he was starting P11 and is now P7. So 4 places on the first lap. Great job by Samuel Alpha.
And there we see Johnny Gutierrez already hounding Dentella for the lead. This is a direct battle for the championship. And of course, Matteo has 13 points to gain, whereas Johnny Gutierrez is the leader. It's a tough situation for Johnny, as he cannot afford less than P2 if Dentella keeps the pace.
So, Laura, let me ask it. Laura, let me ask one question to you. If you were Dentella, would you like to have Sanyo Alpha on the battle right now?
Oh yeah,
even if he has the same pace as you.
Sanyo Alpha will have to pass Johnny Gutierrez before he reaches you. So that's one thing that Johnny Gutierrez has to keep in mind. And don't forget that Sanyo Alpha actually overtook Johnny Gutierrez twice in Monza. He did pass Johnny twice on the track, so that's an advantage to Dentella in a way, because that can take points away from Johnny, and Johnny needs points if Dentella can keep the pace and hold P1 until the end of the race. Sanyo Alpha, as we speak, has overtaken Ed Jones, so Sanyo making progress.
Yeah, it was moving fast. I mean, he was behind Ed Jones like 3 corners ago, and he already had an overtake. So that means that he's on an amazing pace. When you are able to overtake people that easily, that means that you are almost 2 or 3 seconds faster. Let's say at least 1.5 seconds faster. And right now I'm impressed by Ericsson and Holtzell that seem to have Not the same pace, but can catch up to Gutierrez and Dentella.
The top four absolutely close together, as Matt Horse is trying his best to keep them in close contact. Gutierrez trailing Dentella by 8/10 of a second. Then is Ericsson 2.5 behind. Then Holzel slightly behind Ericsson by 1.5 seconds. And Matt Horse then in P5. But look at Sanyo Alpha already on the gearbox of Matt Horse. Sanyo Alpha by far the fastest car on the track. Only Dentella is faster than him. Of course, Matt Horst is in a good position for the championship because his direct rival, Joe Brown, is only P8.
Look at Sunny Alpha. He's really on a
That Ferrari
rampage
is
right now.
quicker.
It's really on a rampage right now.
Sanyo Alpha then taking the slipstream of the Porsche in front of him. It's gonna take the inside,
Let's
probably.
see where we...
Chooses not to, because this is a tricky corner to overtake.
Yeah, probably just waiting for a better chance. If you are this fast, there's no use to, made a stupid overtake and throw your race away right now. So probably
I think he's gonna
waiting for
take
the
him into turn
best
one.
opportunity.
There we see Sanyo
Yeah,
Alpha
definitely.
lining up the inside of Matt Horst. Under braking they go. Matt Horst not making it easy.
A little. Amazing control by
That was a nice
Sanyo.
overtake, but good on Matt Horst because he took it deep into turn one. He braked so late, but Sanyo Alpha was just too fast.
Absolutely. And from what I am seeing, Dentala seems to have a more stable car. For what I see, Gutierrez is very using a lot of corrections. Yeah, I'm
And
looking
also,
from the outside. It seems that he's making a lot of corrections.
yeah, and don't forget that Johnny Gutierrez is on soft tires, so every lap that he stays behind Dentella plays into the end of Dentella himself, because Dentella will do a later pit stop because he has medium tires on. As this is the battle for the last point on the charts. This is Gilles da Silva followed by Andreas Seibel. Of course, Porsche versus Ferrari with that beautiful Golf livery. Gilles da Silva making his Ferrari as wide as possible to avoid Andreas from passing him. The Porsche does look to be working pretty well, though.
Yeah, but it seems that the Ferrari has a nice top speed, but Seibel looks better on the braking than the livery man, Gilles da Silva. Let's see. Yeah. Ooh, big luck there. The tires are not going to be happy about that. And Gutierrez definitely not having the pace to keep up with Duntel, I think. And Sanyo Alpha right now is, yeah, is closing fast. It's closing quickly.
But look at the weather, guys. It's getting darker. It's getting a bit cloudier and darker. Look at the light. There's no sunshine reflecting on the racetrack. And Sanyo Alpha goes straight on and into the wall. Sanyo Alpha into the wall with damage. Incredible. Sanyo Alpha with another mistake. We saw him make a couple of errors in Monza. But here he looked to be in control of the situation, but locked up the front brakes and went straight on. And that plays into the hands of Gutierrez, although Gutierrez is in a disadvantaged position right now. Unless
we are starting to see some cars with the lights turned on, so clearly getting darker and darker right now from what we see. So rain incoming, I don't know.
rain is predicted to come on the racetrack in a few minutes, so the killer factor here is going to be when rather than if, because the radar shows that rain is expected, but Matteo Dentella has to hope it comes as late as possible because he gambled on a harder compound, whereas Johnny
Absolutely.
Gutierrez is on the soft tire. So if rain comes soon enough, then Gutierrez will have made the right choice.
I don't know. The real question right now is, has anyone thought about having Angelo Silva on the pits?
Yeah,
Probably
Gilles
some
Silva, the
damage.
first car to pit, probably damage.
Probably some
Damage
damage for
from
him.
maybe Andreas Seibel, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Uh, Fanny Alpha staying out right now, so maybe his car hasn't a bad damage. Look at how much steer is using right there. Johnny Gutierrez keep the car on the truck.
Johnny Gutierrez with a couple problems, I might say, on the Porsche, because the Porsche doesn't. It looks to be very understeery indeed, and is having to go almost full lock into the last chicane. Dentella
Let's
looks to
compare
be the
this
car in
to the
control right
Dentala.
now.
And look at how sharp. Oh my, it's amazingly stable this car. Look. Ooh, as I speak,
Bit of a
I was a bit
correction, but
bothered.
rather it's still more stable than what we saw on Johnny's onboard.
Yeah, and the thing is that he seems to not need to use that much steer as Johnny was. So this is important for the tire management. And don't forget that UT is even on the soft, so probably in a couple of minutes Johnny will not be able to keep the pace of Dentala. Uh, we have to
Yeah,
remember.
unless rain comes, that is.
Yeah, probably right now that's what uh, Guti is hoping. Because right now the only thing that can give you some advantage is to have rain coming. So without the rain, probably his race is almost in a bad position right now. He put himself in a bad position. Oh, look at this. We saw Guti using a lot of steer back there, and look at Dentella how much precise his car is.
Johnny is still matching Dentella though. He's only 5 tenths away.
Yeah, but probably Laura. I think that right now, the the possibility for Guti to keep the Dentella space is given by the tires. Guti is on a softer, is on a quicker tire compound. Uh, I don't know. I repeat, I don't know how much his tire compound will be able to keep the space. Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, I was
As
saying
we
that.
see Joe Brown overtaking Ed Jones for P7. So the Aston Martin driver making progress is now behind Matt Horst. So there we see the battle for P3 in the championship between Matthew Horst and Joe Brown. Possibly lining up for a good battle under the rain.
And
Horst being P6 behind Sanyo Alpha, which incredibly still out on the track despite the contact that he had with the wall.
absolutely. He's gaining though. He's was 3.6 and now it's 2.7, so he's closing the gap. Probably light damage, not bad, but the car is not the same. Let's see. As we speak, still we are looking at the battle between Dantella and Guti. Uh, it's not helping a truck this tight, is it, Laura?
It's it's a pretty technical track, I would say, rather than tied, because we saw the battle in Maastricht and we had many problems in terms of wall contacts and crashes. But considering that was a street circuit and this being a more of a classical track, yeah, it's pretty tight and technical.
Oh, that's a mistake by
I would say
Dantella.
Johnny Dentella making a mistake there. Johnny Gutierrez is suddenly on the gearbox of the Ferrari. I was gonna say, for the caliber of Dentella and Gutierrez, it's enough space to make a move.
Yeah, that's sure. But I was thinking that it's not space to get a move, but just because you said the caliber of these two guys, which proved during the championship how fast they are. Defending on a tight track is quite easier, is it?
Oh, it's raining.
Raining coming.
It's raining. Johnny Gutierrez
So turning
has
point
made
right
the right
now.
choice then, because Dentella is gonna see his medium tires drop in temperature, and the Porsche is so stronger under braking that track will become damp as the laps go by. Still not heavy rain, but just enough to form a bit of film on the track, and that's gonna cause some major aquaplaning. I wonder how this will affect the battle for P3 between Joe Brown and Matt Horst.
So right now the question is how fast the truck is going to get wet. We know that in our Factor 2, the truck gets wet in a really in a relative quick time. But let's see who's going to be the one to change his tires to the wet compound. If there's if is going to be needed to change to the wet, because we don't know how much the rain should last. And Gutierrez now seems to be very much quicker than Tala. Look at this. Look at the different line these guys are doing. This line
Dentella is somehow able to still stretch the gap in traction. In that, Guti needs to adjust his gears, because we saw him drop to first gear at the hairpin, whereas Dentella is only using the second gear to avoid wheel spin. So maybe Johnny needs to adjust the gear ratio I'm not sure if you can do that electronically, but
you'd not be able to adjust the gear ratio of the car.
Yeah, so that's gonna be an issue for Johnny though.
Yeah, absolutely. That is not only a gearbox problem for Johnny, but even and we are start to see a bit less of grip for Dentella, and these two guys are starting to have a more round corner, if we can say that. Look at how much they are avoiding the curbs.
Far from the camera, Sanyo Alpha is overtaking Holsel.
Yeah, but I think Holsel had a mistake, probably, because he dropped completely. Yeah, so also made a mistake because he dropped a lot. He was 2 seconds in front of Sanyo Alpha just 2 or 3 laps ago, and now he's 4 seconds back, so probably a mistake.
It doesn't get much better than this, guys. Unpredictable conditions and two of the best drivers here battling between each other at VIR.
This is quite a deja vu of the first race, or the
Yeah, pretty
Pittsburgh
much.
race.
Except that in Pittsburgh we had Tony Taldicia, John
And
Gutierrez, and Bettini battling all together. Matteo Dentella was not on the scene yet. Oh, and there we see Dentella going slightly wide, and Johnny Gutierrez looked to have more speed, but Dentella with the
this is
brilliant traction.
this is probably where the soft tires are starting to have an advantage on the medium tires on these track conditions.
I'm surprised nobody is pitting yet. Nobody has gone into the pits.
Sorry, but is this what I'm seeing? Is fog? There's a little bit
Yeah,
of fog too.
this looks like the Pianura Padana here in Italy, pretty much, with green trees and fog.
Yeah, just yesterday it was a terrible evening for the fog. But
Oh, Dentella slightly wide again. He cannot afford these mistakes because Johnny Gutierrez is gonna take the opportunity as soon as he sees an opening.
so right now, the the feelings have quite changed because I think that Dentella is hoping for the rain to stop and Guti is hoping to the rain to continue right now.
Yeah, but they will need to do something about the tires because they will need to, you know, somehow come into the pit and change. As we see Sanyo Alpha overtake Barrett Ericsson, we are concentrating on the top two, but behind them, Sanyo Alpha is making incredible progress. He does have a bit of space to recover if he wants to catch Gutierrez, and Dentella is now 18 seconds behind them.
I think
But
that right now we are going to see the true pace of So seems to be a
slightly
go
wide there,
wide.
Sanyo
Yeah.
Alpha, but he was able to get away with it, and rain increasing by the looks of it.
I was saying sorry that we are going to see now Sanyo Alpha true pace. We are going to see if he's going to be able to catch up with the leaders as long as 18 seconds are a lot.
Dentella then still leading from Johnny Gutierrez and
Oh,
Sanyo
0.1,
Alpha.
0.1 between Dental and Gutierrez. Gutierrez is attacking.
Gutierrez
Oh,
up inside on Dentella. That's critical for the championship. Dentella needs the place back. I think Dentella waited too much. And Johnny Gutierrez making the most of the opportunity that I was talking about right before. Now Johnny Gutierrez then taking the lead of the race, followed by Dentella, who does not look like he has an answer at the moment. He's already 1 second behind. And this changes everything because now Sanyo Alpha is Johnny's ally. Because if Sanyo Alpha recovers and overtakes Dentella, that's pretty much game over for Matteo in terms of championship.
yeah, but Dental is. Ooh,
Johnny Gutierrez
ooh,
and
no,
Dentella also taking too much of a risk, trying to overtake Gil da Silva, who just did not have any place to go, and just tried to make his Ferrari as small as possible to let the leaders go by, but Dentella will surely pit now. I'm pretty sure he has to change tires now. Look at Johnny Gutierrez and Dentella; they have no traction whatsoever, as do the others.
as long as
Alpha,
we are not still looking at a completely wet truck, as the truck doesn't seem very wet yet.
and I was about to say that Sunny Alpha has been overtaken again by Barrett Ericsson. So Barrett Ericsson not wanting to let that third place go
That's
as Gutierrez locks up the tires. We are
big mistake
switching in the
there.
wrong moments because Johnny Gutierrez made a mistake, and Da Silva is the first car to pit for wet tires,
I
but he
think
was
that
running
was
in
a
P11.
mistake. I think that was a mistake to done because of the wet track right now. Because it seemed that he made. Ooh, look at that!
Yeah, the
It seemed
Porsche is
that,
a bit wobbly outside of corners.
yeah, and Horsten Brown on the pits.
Austin Brown absolutely tucked up together, and they came into the pits at the same lap. So the third position battle
So
lining up
when
to be, you know, all the way until the end of the race between Matt Horst and Joe Brown.
oh, and
Ed
Dentala's
Jones is in the
look at
pits as
Dentala how
well.
much he's closing on Gutierrez there. Sorry to cut you off, Laura, but Dentala seemed to be incredibly fast, and we know how much quicker he is. He's,
No traction whatsoever on these tires. They will need to pit. I'm pretty sure they're gonna pit at the same lap, both Johnny Gutierrez and Dantella. It would be stupid to not take the pit lane entry now. Because they're gonna lose if Ericsson or Sanyo Alpha, if any one of those guys pit this lap,
and Ed Jones on the pits
Johnny and
too.
Dantella will be losing time.
Ed Jones on the pits too. Oh, look at this.
Horst
Oh,
is
definitely.
absolutely close together with Joe Brown as Johnny Gutierrez and Dantella do come into the pits. Matt Horst 0.8 behind Joe Brown. That battle will be lining up incredibly. Can we switch to Matt Horst, please? There we see Matt Horst in the Porsche following Joe Brown. These guys are battling for third place in the standings. They are separated by 1 point, so it's pretty much a race to the finish between these two. Top 4, everybody in the pits. Dantella, Gutierrez, Bart Eriksson, and Thomas
That's
Folsel. And now Sanyo Alpha. I'm pretty sure Sanyo Alpha will lose time compared to Joe Brown and Matt Horst, although I do not know how much.
definitely. I think that the guys. Ooh.
Oh, whoa, that's critical. Johnny Gutierrez getting tangled up with Sanyo Alpha, and Matteo Dantella will have it easy
And
outside of the pit lane.
wait, something happened on the pit lane. Gutierrez is. Look at how far is Gutierrez?
Gutierrez has lost 8 seconds.
No, probably more. 9 seconds right now between Gutierrez and Dantala. So
Dantella with a
what
quicker
happened?
stop, or Johnny Gutierrez with we did see him connect with Sanyo Alpha. That was an unsafe release, probably on Johnny Gutierrez's end. Oh, as we see,
And
oh,
Wenham.
that's Stephen Wenham yet to pit, and outside of the track,
Yeah, and
Andras
Sibo.
Seibel. These guys are not pitting yet. That's a bit of an audacious move, but
Yeah,
whatever.
but right now the truck is completely wet. Look at the water that the tires of the cars are creating. Look at that.
That's a we have received the news that Thomas Holzel has received a penalty. So a disastrous first half of the race for Thomas
Yeah,
Holzel.
probably
He
a pit
was starting
limiter.
from P4, but he's now all the way down to P7, and he has to take
And
another.
nothing happened to Sanyo Alpha because he's back on ninth place.
Yeah, he had a long stop, probably fixed damage from the previous contact with the wall
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
saw at the beginning of the
yeah, you're right.
race.
And when
Stephen
I'm
Wenham
still
not
staying
Wenham
out,
staying out on slick tires, and Sanyo Alpha
ooh,
not wasting any time. This has been a problem for Sanyo Alpha. He should be more cautious when making an overtake. He lost more than 35 seconds in Monza
yeah, but if I can
for a
say,
maneuver
Laura,
like
is
that.
what Winham is doing is really dangerous. Because staying out in a complete wet track with slick tires, that's a bit dangerous.
That is dangerous, but then again, also Sanyo Alpha
Yeah,
making that
absolutely,
mistake was
absolutely.
kind of dangerous. And also, I mean, if he wants to preserve his position on the track, unlike he did in Monza, then he shouldn't be so, reckless, I would say.
Yeah.
And Matt Horst and Joe Brown, they were P7 and P8 a couple laps ago, and look at them. They were the first people to react to the change of weather, and they are now running P3 and P4. Kudos to these guys, because that was the right call.
Yeah, absolutely. They pitted one lap before everyone else, and it seemed
Yeah,
that
and look at
that
how
worked.
much
Yeah.
how much that paid off. I was about to say something must have happened to Bart Ericsson, because he's now down to P10. And Sanyo Alpha pitting again. Sanyo Alpha is pitting again, so that's pretty much the end. Bart
Ericsson is
Ericsson
really
going
slow, yeah.
slowly with damage.
So
That's
probably
a
a
bent
contact
steering column,
again.
probably. The Ferrari not pointing to the right direction. I wonder. It probably spun out
Probably a
and
contact
impacted
again.
the wall. I still
Oh, and
Wenham
Winham.
off again.
Stephen, I think that it's time for you to go into the pits.
Oh,
Ooh,
Gilda Silva joining on the track. That's very dangerous. And Matt Horst had to take evasive action there. He got away with it, or maybe
ooh, no,
not. And Matt
yeah,
Horst is off and into the wall. Incredible. That plays tremendously into the hands of Joe Brown, who is now
yeah.
P3 and clear.
Dentella making a mistake.
And also Dentella making some kind of mistake, because Johnny Gutierrez is now first. What is happening? We missed it
That's quite the
completely.
turning point. Oh, the last
Oh,
corner.
Dentella spinning out on the last corner. The car bottomed out. If you rewind, Sam, you will see the floor of the Ferrari scratching
Yeah,
the surface of the track.
that's not the only mistake he made. Look at
Yeah, look at
he
this.
was. Ooh,
The floor of the Ferrari is crashing the surface, and that's gonna cause
yeah,
air to stall
and
under
most
the floor of the
important, he
Ferrari.
put most important, he put his wheel on the curbs, and we know that in wet conditions, curb are like
He was
killers
so
for the
lucky. He was
drivers.
so lucky not to
Yeah,
impact the wall. Johnny Gutierrez is now 2 seconds clear from Dentella, followed by Joe Brown then P3.
what happened, Laura, kind of confirmed what I said, that if you're on a wet track, you need to have a bit of a higher car, because Dentella never had a problem on that corner on a dry track, and as fast as he got a wet track, he spun out. So
Yeah, the Ferrari doesn't look to have the speed that the Porsche has. Maybe Johnny Gutierrez playing the long game, and that's Sanyo Alpha stop on the track. Sanyo Alpha does not have a grip of the situation as of now. He's now P9, and behind Steven Wenham. So not sure what happened to Alpha. He probably had a spin or impacted the wall again. Chaotic race here at Virginia.
absolutely. Your probably thing is that Alpha right now has lost a lot of focus, because when you have the pace, but you start to make one mistake, and then you have to pit, and then you have to you make another mistake. And Winham has pitted, or is still on slick tires.
I think Wenham is still on slick tires. I don't think he has pitted, and he's refusing to give way to
I
Johnny
don't see
Gutierrez.
blue. I don't see blue rights on those tires. That's quite a strange choice.
Yeah, Steven Wenham is still on the slick tires, but as you can see, the Aston Martin does not have any steering power at all. I'm not sure that's the right strategy, but Steven probably feels comfortable with his tires.
That's quite a strange choice. I mean, uh, you should you should understand what's happening right now. Uh,
Thomas
maybe
Holzel then comes
is
into the pit lane to serve his drive-through penalty.
absolutely. Only thing that, and Seibel too hasn't pitted the whole. So Seibel and Winham are staying out with slick tires, from what I see. That's quite. Oh my god.
Yeah, you were right.
I mean
Andreas
that.
Seibel did not pit, and Matt Horst, with that previous contact that he had, lost about 25 seconds. Yes, that's a big loss for Matt
And
Horst.
yeah, and Horst probably making another mistake because he lost the position to Ed Jones too.
Yeah, Ed Jones is now P4, so Ed Jones making progress, and Joe Brown will be probably happy about that because, of course, he's battling with Horst in the championship, and Joe Brown is clear track both in front and behind, but Seibel and Wenham finally making their pit stops.
Yeah, I think that that pit stop came with like 4 or 5 laps too late. I mean, probably they was hoping that the rain would have stopped and have the upper end without having to do another pit stop, but probably they came at the point where the car are completely not drivable on the track. So, ooh, and also risking
Thomas
a lot on
was coming out of
Dantala.
the pits from his penalty, and Nutella just about, uh, you know, only just missed him. That would be a wake-up call for Matteo, as he's gaining, though, slowly but steadily, on Johnny Gutierrez.
Absolutely. Probably Matteo needed some laps to get used to the car grip on the wet, and right now is back on a quicker pace than Guti. It's going to be a hard race till the end. It's going to be long 50 minutes for both the guys, Gutierrez and Dantella. I think that Dantella right now is praying for the race to stop because he was a lot quicker on the dry. Maybe a setup difference. I don't know. As we speak, Seibel and Winham are still on the pits. Uh, what a long pit. And Winham coming out now after a 2 minute stop, so a lot of damage probably for them, and a lot of damage for Seibel. Uh, they kind of, we were saying that they were kind of very late on the stop there, so probably they collect a lot of damage by using the slick tires on the wet, Laura. Yeah, yeah, and Dantella seems to be slight quicker than Guti. Look at that, the difference in line, where Guti was a bit wide on the exit, and Dantella was quite more sharp and to the inside. But right now, again, Guti gained some time, so probably they are on a. They change the upper end on every sector right now. Mm, Salas pushing out, but he lost like 9 tenths of a second, or probably is a bit of a bug on the, I don't know, probably a. He's gaining a lot on the straights. So probably less swing for Dentella right now, and that's a setup that can help you on the dry, but definitely doesn't help you on the wet. Because less swing. Oh, seems to be on a counter steep that Dentella, and yeah, it's definitely gaining a lot
Yeah, and that's the
on
corner
the
he
straight.
spun off before.
Absolutely, and Dentella seems to be really fast on the straight and on the first sector, but then he loses in the central part of the track.
Yeah, that's where the Porsche is able to stretch the gap back to about 2 seconds. Nutella at this stage does not have an answer to Johnny Gutierrez. This is a nerve battle as well because these guys know what is at stake, and that's the title. I'm pretty sure Dentella will come alive again if the rain stops. I think Johnny is literally praying right now that the rain stays as it is now. We have 48 minutes left uh, on the clock, so plenty of time for Dentella to make that 1.6 seconds back, but he does not need any superfluous risks because uh, we saw how easy it is to lose the car here.
Yeah, and look at this, the corner where Dentella was making the difference on the dry is right now the corner where John is making the difference on the wet. So how much can
Opposite
be?
philosophy on the setup.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Probably not even the setup, but the racing line itself. Dentala had a better racing line on the dry, but probably Johnny's racing line on the wet is more. Every time I look at Dentella going down that corner, it seems that he's going to be
It looks
spinning
to be
out
sideways.
yeah. I think that he needs some grip, but not on the racing on the setup there. Because he's incredibly fast right there. Look at how much he's
Yeah,
closing the gap right
look at the
there.
gap tumbling down from 2.2 seconds to 1.4, but then on traction the
Oh,
Porsche just
something happened.
goes away.
Oh, I think that there's some kind of bug. Yeah, but 10 seconds between Dentella and Gutierrez.
That's weird because we see Johnny Gutierrez. I think we're behind with the tape, maybe. I'm not sure what's happening, but the charts are behaving strangely.
Yeah.
That's not
Well,
a 9 seconds gap.
vi- well, visibly. Oh yeah. So we were behind on the tape.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you see. Oh, Dentella spun off again. So a bit of a delay in due to a connection problem on our part. So yeah, sorry about that. Dentella, 12 seconds behind Johnny Gutierrez now. That's a pretty heavy gap to recover in 46 minutes.
so I mean, if I'm right, Johnny's win doesn't mathematically close the championship,
Yeah,
but
it is a
is
big
it
blow though.
virtually? Yeah,
Should Johnny win, he would
it's
gain.
20 points, 20 points difference, right?
Yes, he would gain 7 points on Dentella. That would make 20 points
Yeah,
distance between the two
yeah,
drivers. That would be pretty tough to recover unless Gutierrez gets a pretty awful
and
race.
that, I mean, that means that Matteo Dantala needs to win the last race and hope that Johnny doesn't finish or at least came, I think, nine or 10 position on the
If
last.
Gutierrez wins today, then Dentella has to win the next race, and Johnny needs to finish not higher than 7th place. That's something that has never happened before in this championship. Because Johnny's
Yeah.
worst
But
result, I think, was a
right now,
P6
Dentella
in
gained
Masters.
like 1 second on Johnny, pushing a
Yeah, but
lot.
the gap is oscillating a lot, so there you see the gap coming back to 12 seconds. Dentella does not have the pace right now, and that's pretty weird to see because I did not expect Dentella to struggle this much. In rain conditions, he had never raced here with the rain, probably, so this is
The,
pretty new.
the the most probable thing that happened is that after the second spin, Dentella doesn't trust the car anymore, so he's not pushing. He's not able to push because he doesn't trust the car. He doesn't find the limit of the car on the wet anymore. As we
Oh, it
speak,
goes wide again. He needs to be careful or it will
as we speak.
spin once again.
But
Yeah, the car that
what
just understeers
are we a
like
bit
crazy.
late again? Because I think that the 2 seconds that we saw getting up that fast on the I don't know.
I didn't tell trading Johnny Gutierrez by 13 seconds now. There we see the back-to-back champion in total control of the race.
Absolutely. That's quite how probably Johnny was hoping the race was going. I mean, that's where you want to be. You are first. You are at the top of the standing, and your direct opponent has made two big mistakes, and right now is not finding the pace anymore. So that's quite that's quite how you want the race to be. And Senor Alpha, who climbed back to sixth place. So demonstrating that he is a fast guy, but he needs to be a bit more relaxed. What do you think, Laura?
I think that's the way he should behave. Um, and of course, don't forget that if anything else happens, Gutierrez is still on advantage. So I think Sanyo does not have any chance right now at reaching the top two again. I think Gutierrez is in control and Tella is concentrated on keeping the car on the road. So Sanyo Alpha needs to avoid any stupid contacts again. Uh, and I'm sounding harsh on Sanyo, but I really loved his driving style in Monza, but I think he has way more potential than he has shown here. So I hope he can get a grip of the car and try to use maybe a bit of opportunism next time.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this. I feel close to Sanyo because he's, his driving style is similar to me. I'm not that fast. I'm not that this quick. But we are similar. I mean, when I have a good pace, I tend to be a bit harsh and nervous on making places and finding fast laps. Uh, so I understand that Sanyo wants to prove be fast, but sometimes, I mean, looking from the outside, I understand that if you are fast, if you are quick, there's no need to risk. The opportunity will come. It's better to be safe and wait for the opportunity to come, like Barrett Erickson, which is having a lot of troubles today, um, is used to. I mean, sometimes it's better to be Barrett Erickson, not this quick, but calm, relaxed, waiting for the right opportunity to strike, than to be Sanyo, quick and having a lot of issues because of your nervousness. Ooh, also going wide there. I think that Sanyo's going to attack him soon. Yes, Sanyo's car looks to be sharper than Thomas Ultel Ferrari. That's a battle between the uh, Modena Maranello cars right there for the fifth position. Uh, as the spray, look at Sanyo disappearing in the spray of Thomas Ultel, which seem to have a best top speed than Sanyo right now. Again, around the last corner, and look at that. Even Ultel seemed to have a bit of understeer there. So probably a similar setup to the one that Dentella has, and Sanyo Alpha being quite faster right here. Uh, with Thomas Ultel on the brake for the first corner. Sanyo Alpha looking for him is on his gearbox. Thomas Ultel definitely not being that fast. A bit wide there. Sanyo Alpha even turning off his lights. And am I seeing a little bit of opening on the clouds? That seems to be more bright right now. Laura, what do you think? It seems to be a little more brighter than before. So Rain is ooh, and Thomas also going wide again there. Let's see if Sanya can do something really close right now. I think it's going to be also has some issues on that part of the track, but seem to be faster right here, so he can defend easily. And as we speak, I got the communication that Range should expect to top in 10 minutes. So another change to the race for the last half hour of the race. Another shock. And right now Dantala is closing the gap again. So it's going to be a long half hour for a long 40 minutes for Gutierrez, which I think he's hoping that the truck gets dry, the slow, the last he can, the truck can. And Sanyo's, oh, no, also again, also he has him some driving issues right there. Uh, that's a nice battle. This is a nice battle. Um, and seems that Sanyo has listened to us because he seems to be a bit more conscious, a bit more easy on the move right now. It's not. Ooh, big mistake there, and that's a big mistake by Holzo, and this is going to be a big hit for the race because I think he collect a lot of damage. And what did I tell you guys? What did I tell you? Sanya doesn't need to be that fast. Sometimes applying pressure on the guy who is slower than you, it's more than enough. Oh, almost going wide there. Anyway, good job by Sanyo on keeping the cart line there. And then Tella, it's quite strange because his lap times are like I think he made another mistake because he lost a lot of a lot of time. He was 12 seconds behind, and right now he's 14 seconds behind. So uh, I don't know. It's like he's doing the. Uh, so Rain has stopped right now. Rain has officially stopped. So let's see what's going to happen right now. Dentella is doing like the I don't remember the word. Anyways, one lap it seems to be closing the gap, and the other lap the gap open up again. And it's important to say that we are starting to see that the cars doesn't create spray anymore. So probably right now we are starting to see dry. Yeah, definitely. A dry line is starting to create on the track, and also on the pits, probably trying to play the jolly right there, and try to put the slick tires before anyone else does. I don't think it's still the time to have the slick tires, because we see that in some of in, in some parts of the line, cars still create spray, but he's trying to play the jolly. Let's see if it works. Let's keep an eye on the on wholesale times to see what times can he set when he came out of the pits. It's going to be
Hello
and
guys.
Harrison.
So they should be
Oh,
able to listen to me. Since Lorenzo had some issue, I'm gonna replace him with this last part of the race.
yeah, hi Sam.
Uh, it should pay off because also Bear Taxer is pitting right now, and
Yeah, well,
technically the tire
I
is
forgot the wholesale probably stopped. Sorry, forgot the wholesale probably stopped
damage also.
for the crash he made. Yeah, so
Now Barrett Ericsson is for sure stopping for new tires. So I believe right now
and Gilles da
going
Silva
on
too.
soft. Yes, Matteo Dentella should take
Oh
this
wait,
gamble.
da Silva retired?
No,
Oh
he's
no,
pitting
sorry,
as well.
sorry, sorry, sorry. So I didn't saw him anymore.
I would say
Um,
Dentella should take this gamble right now.
yeah,
Maybe it
Dantala
can
is
pay off, maybe not, but for sure, at least can have a
no, yeah,
chance.
yeah, absolutely. If you want to play the jolly, that's the time to do. This is the time to do that.
He's not gonna lose the place
If
or
he waits,
crown. So
yeah. If you wait, I think that if he waits for Guti to do the move, it should be too late. And Winam
again,
there, oh,
he lost a second.
risky place to get a, yeah, risky place to get an overtake.
Johnny didn't pit, so if I was Dentella, Dentella didn't pit also.
I don't know, Sam. I think that if you want to do, if you want at least to keep the race open and the championship too, you have to get the risk
There's
right now.
nothing for you to do more than pit and start pushing.
You have to risk now. I mean, in the worst case, you close the race second, and that's the worst that can happen to you right
Yeah,
now. So
I would start pushing and going on soft tire and do this last 30 minutes as it was the last race of the championship.
yeah, and he's losing a lot. Look at that. He lost another 2 seconds. This race is becoming a nightmare for Dentella. After the two mistakes he did, and I don't think that could have, I mean, helped him without the mistakes because Guti was clearly faster. But I don't know. I mean, right now Dentella needs to pit. That's the only thing you can do to keep the race open.
Let's see how
If
this lap of Barrett Ericsson goes, because Barrett Ericsson did a 2 minutes 04, and his last sector is faster than Dentella and Gutierrez. And we
yeah,
know
it's time
how
for the
much of difference there is between Dentella and Barrett Ericsson, so they can definitely go much faster. That's why I'm saying he should have pit, and maybe he could have gained like a 2 second, 3 second. And then, you know, when the guy is chasing you, you have to manage the pressure. It's not easy. So
the,
he's struggling in the first sector, but just because he's not in this condition, you have to brake way much early, even though you have grip, like
ooh,
in this condition. this corner. You have to still brake early. It's on the exit you make the time right now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, in F1, in conditions like this, there's a target time. Uh, if cars start to do that target time, usually it's time to go on the slick tires.
You lost
Usually the
another
target time
second.
is, yeah, usually target times are like 4 or 5 seconds lower than the normal race pace.
Yeah. Even though they
So
are still slow at the moment because their best lap was a 144 and they were doing a 147 around when they pitted, so
yeah.
there is still something there.
Well, you still see water in some key points of the racing line.
Yes.
So probably it's there where Power is losing time. But look at here, like for example, you don't see cars spraying water anymore. So
They might be pitting in 10 minutes, possible, because we see Matteo Dantella, he always gain a lot in the middle sector. He's constantly faster than Guti.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't know why he's not pitting.
I believe they are.
I mean, play
He's
the risk right now.
most likely he's going to try to pit in the next 10 minutes and the last 20 minutes.
Unless, but that would be so much crazier than pitting now and putting on the slicks. He's hoping to finish the race on the wet
Wet.
tires.
Possible. But that will be only in Guti favor because Guti can still manage 17 seconds. Let's see what can happen, but oh, slightly wide. It's still on Guti's side to manage with the pace and on tire. But we have to consider that from now on, when the truck will be trying a lot,
Right, he
it's
has already
very
tried. Look at that.
very difficult to manage the temperature on the tire. So for them, it's not only gonna be driving, also be very careful on the temperature of the tire. And making mistake with the last update of Factor 2, it's so easy when the temperature is just slightly off your range. The car is just behaving very differently.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sam, what I'm thinking right now is that if you are Dentella, you have to do the exact opposite of what Guti is gonna do. I mean, if Guti comes in before you, the only way you have to try to get a win, to take the win, is staying out. And I don't know.
I would pit in the next 2 laps if I was Dentella. I would pit in the next 2 laps and put the soft, and then just as you
Yeah, and
see a lot
Johnson
of
and
people
Horst
are,
are on the pits too. So
because
probably right.
then for Johnny you have only 2 options: stay out or either pit and cover the position. And if he stay out, even 2 laps more than what he needs, it's too late. And then managing the 1 second a lap can be critical.
Absolutely. We are still seeing a bit of water on the corpse. So,
Now the sun is out, so it's gonna
yeah,
dry
the
out
sun's
even
out.
faster.
Yeah, I think that everyone should stop inside the next lap. Let's say the ending of this lap, and the next lap will be the turning point of the race. And I think that between Johnny and Dentala is going to win. The first one that have the courage to stop will be the winner of the race.
It's not
Probably.
like the if Dentala pits now, it's gonna gain like 18 seconds, but at least he can put pressure on, and
Yeah, but
Guti can still manage to stay out. It's not like he.
Gutis is staying out. So if there's the
If he
if
does
Dentala
like 24
as a
minutes,
team behind him, team please tell Dentala to
it
pit so we can see a spark, an amazing finish of the race.
because if he pits now, he can even gain 5 seconds a lap.
And I think he's pitting. Look at how much time he's losing. Yeah,
Yes.
pitting. And Dentala is
And
in right
now
now.
we're gonna have 24 minutes of pure fire to Dentella. I hope
And
he puts on the soft.
yeah, I should. So right, probably John is going to pit this lap.
Barrett Erickson was on the soft tires. He
There's
lapped.
still a there's still a bit of problems on the first sector because 4 seconds lower than the target time is
No,
a lot.
he's struggling a lot in the first sector. I believe just because he's braking late. Because when you drive in this condition, you cannot brake on the same point as you were on the dry and on the wet. It's a mid-range from the best and the very safe braking point that you have. So I believe he's just struggling a lot to find the grip, but he's still going in a very decent pace because he's doing 154 point, no, 154.8. That's still faster than Joe Brown. Now it's Dentella time. Let's see. Guti is pitting. Guti is
And
pitting.
Gut is pitting. Yeah,
But is he not wasting?
I don't think that Matteo is going to.
Matteo is not gonna gain time, but he was faster than Guti on the dry condition. So let's see.
But gaining like he has to gain more than 1 second per lap.
I know, but maybe Guti can struggle in this condition, and he will not struggle. Who knows?
Definitely. He's definitely pushing. Let's see how far is Dentella going to be when Johnny finishes his pit.
Still in the
Johnny
pit.
he's still not moving on the pit. He's moving now. Dentella, I think that he may even have lost something.
19 second, 8 second, 14 second. He gained.
He gained like 6 seconds. More. It's 11 seconds back. So again, like 10
Why
seconds.
I see the wet tires? Hold on.
No, I think it's
no,
it's on a soft
okay.
soft tire, soft.
This outlap is gonna be very critical for Johnny Gutierrez because Matteo Dentala, he already did half lap on this tire, so I would not say that his tires are temperature, but he know the condition.
Yeah, that's quite an advantage when you came out of a wet truck, but it seemed Gutierrez gained something right there.
I would say Dentala has to gain half a second a lap now on if he wants.
No, I think more than half a second.
6 tenths, but the thing is, it's very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's 20 minutes, and the laps on this truck are 144, even more because right now the truck is not complete. Is not on the best shape. Yeah, you don't have on the truck the full grip. Okay,
The middle
because
sector, he gained 4 tenths.
yeah,
Let's
This is
see.
probably due to the warmer tires.
Possible. Also, we have to consider lapped car can be interfere. I hope he don't lose time with the Stefan Wenham, and Stefan Wenham just realized he has to give the position, because right now he again gained half a
Something
second.
you don't want to happen. Oh, okay,
That
nice
should be fine,
behavior by Stephen.
because
Very nice.
Dentella gained 4 times in the last sector and 4 in the middle sector. So let's see. Even though I believe he lost time in the first sector just because of that blocking in the turn 1.
Oh well, he definitely lost because look at that. It's 12 seconds again.
Yes, he
So
lost a lot. He lost a second. Jesus,
I mean,
too much.
Guti just need to manage the gap. He doesn't have. He doesn't even have to push.
Push, yeah. He can take all this times he need behind all the lapped car.
And look at Johnny. And as we speak, Sanyo Alpha it's on P4, so he's climb back, still keeps up.
With all the mess going around, he's still P4. He gained back position.
Yeah. And Gutierrez is flashing to Sanyo Alpha, but
Oh, he left the position.
yeah.
It was not that close, so Sunny Alpha didn't have to stop. But still, incredible. They had both the same pace. I would say that few mistake who can be the reason because Dentara lost the race. Because apart from that, even in
Yeah, I
the
think
rain
that
condition, Dentala was there. He was still there. Setup wise, maybe the Duty car was better, but at the end of the day, Dentala was the better car. Just that those two mistakes costed the race. Because he still gained 6 seconds by pitting early. He gained 8 seconds in the first pit stop by pitting and not, I would say, optimizing his pit stop time.
I still think that Dentella could have pit 1 or 2
One,
laps
maybe
before
one early would have been
and
much
play it,
better.
yeah, and play it risky because um, you have to do it because you are
He
the
still
one
have
who's looking for
51
get the
seconds.
championship. So
He still have 152 seconds on Joe Brown. So that was not the case that he would have lost P3 or P2. But yeah, maybe
yeah,
trying more.
I mean, Sam, you're playing for you're driving for the championship right now. And P2 or P3 right now doesn't make any difference, to be honest.
Oh,
Because
for sure.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
would say his
I mean, yes,
championship was already compromised by
absolutely.
not racing
But
in those two races. But we have to give him credit that he did a fantastic race, and he did these last few races on
yeah,
another level
and
because
I
he was
mean,
so fast.
as someone always said, until I'm not mathematically out of the championship, everything can happen. So because we don't know
So
if
you're
something
saying
happens on the last race.
someone going wide on turn 1 at Kota on uphill and just taking out Booty on the out first lap.
Yeah, but no, maybe that can happen. Everything. I mean, Santella is right here trying for the championship after even lost the first 2 races. He missed the first 2 races. Um,
No, he's
it's
still
going to
here, and
be
actually he's still faster than Gutierrez at the moment. So
yeah, it's definitely yeah. Probably they were on different setup. Uh, Probably Santella went for a better dry setup, and Guti probably have an hybrid setup, a setup that could be fast on the dry and fast on the wet track. That's the difference I can think of.
Possible, and even right now, like their first sector is identical. They are doing 37-0, 37-198,
Yeah.
and
Dentala seems to
the
be
middle
faster
sector
right here. He's clearly faster here.
41-0, 40.3, gain 7/10 middle sector, and if he does perfectly the last sector, he's gonna gain another 3/10.
Absolutely. The big difference to me is on the long straights. Dentala seems to have
Low wing,
an higher top speed. Yeah, probably lower wing.
that could have been very effective in the rain condition, because
Yeah, but
having
that's
more
quite what we.
downforce can be
That is
very.
quite what we saw. I mean, we know that a lower car and lower wing gives you a lot of top speed. But that's exactly what you don't want on a wet truck. Lower car and lower wing. So and we saw that Dentala when Dentala made the first mistake at the last corner.
He
I
lost the
mean
back.
it doesn't seem a line mistake or you went too fast, but that quite seemed proper a setup problem. We saw the car bottoming out, so I think that Dentella went for a hoped not to get rain. He was on a super dry setup and still gaining. Look at that. He's going to be lower than 10 seconds right now. So that just increases my thoughts.
Would you believe he will lose the race by one of those mistakes he made in the rain?
Yeah, probably he lost the race because of the second mistake more than the first.
If he lose the race by less than 8 seconds, those are all the seconds that he lost by making that mistake.
Yeah, but it's not a matter of time. It's more that okay, you did the first mistake. You didn't expect the car to bottoming out right there. Um, that's something that can happen, but you were not that far away from good because it still was like 5 or 6 seconds, of maybe less, behind Gutierrez. So right now that could be
Right now, he's gaining
open.
1
Yeah,
second
the,
a lap.
yeah, probably Guti is even managing right now. He doesn't
Possibly.
have to push. There's no use for Johnny to take any risk. Look at Dentale said I was driving. It seems on a quali lap every lap. And my thoughts are that the second mistake Dentella made quite killed his focus and his trust on the car on the wet. And because we saw that after that mistake, he started to lose a lot of time. So that's
Nice.
probably the worst mistake that can happen because he was even on a slow corner. So how you
Gain a
can trust?
lot in the middle sector. Again, 1 second in the middle sector.
Yeah, 39.9. He's flying right now on the middle sector.
His middle sector is almost like as dry. Even though you have to still consider the track is not full dry. It's still damp,
Yeah,
but
and you are not on the optimal grip because
yep,
when
it's
rain
green.
comes, it washes away the tire. So you don't. You probably this truck is green right now. Uh, for those who doesn't know, green is the most big oversteer there. Uh, the green truck is the way you say that the truck has not tire on the lines. So the slowest dry truck you can find. Then you have fast and optimal, which is the exact amount of grip on the truck. So right now, probably this truck is a green truck, not a lot of grip. And Dentala made some mistake because he lost a lot.
I believe he possible overheated his tire, but he still gained a lot in middle sector. Just his line is perfect. And I would say using the second gear on the 3 corner there, it's just beautiful. He gains all the times he gain is from the exit of the turn 11 to turn 12 here.
Yeah, another 40.1 on the middle sectors. He's raging right now. But I think that's not much he can do right now.
No, at the moment he can
Unless
just
Cutie made a mistake.
he can hope
I think that
in a
race is
mistake,
victory
yeah.
closed.
But still they have to drive, so anything can happen in 8 minutes. Even the last lap can be a drama, so they still
Yeah,
have to push.
absolutely. Races aren't over until the checkered flag. Uh, that's something that's something that every
Oh, Matt Horst DNF. Possible a crash
oh,
or
that's a bad news for his championship, as Joe Brown is taking the points for the third place on the championship, and probably virtually closing, because how much is going to Joe Brown to gain on Matt's 13 points, 15 points.
we can see the standing, why not?
Yeah, and Joe Brown is reopening the discussion for the third place, because it's going to be 69 to 60.
And today, Joe Brown by doing P3 15 points.
Yeah, so it's going to be on 60 points for him and 69 for Matt Horst. So still open even the third place.
Gonna be fantastic then. And very tight.
Should be. And look at Dentella. Is now almost just 8 seconds behind Gutierrez. Probably is Dentella is eating his fingers right now.
Yeah, most likely.
I mean, this is motorsport. Um, Everyone knows that you can be in front of everyone for the complete race and make a mistake on the last corner, lose the race, and there's no one you can blame, just yourself. So I mean, if anyone have ever saw or remembers the 2017 Le Mans, Toyota was quite
That was
a
just
demonstration of that.
I was
They did the race for
breathtaking
23
and
hours and 55 minutes, and then the car just gave up. So
I think in that case you just have to go to Louvre and pray and
yeah,
hopes to get to win next year, but then they came back and they won a couple of times, I would say. Let's see what's gonna happen next year at Le Mans with the hypercar, with all
yeah, it's going
other
to be.
manufacturer coming back.
Yeah. And not to mention that these cars, the GT, will be the last GT year for Le Mans, and not even for the pros, but for the
Amateur and all the category, yeah. Next
amateur
year we're gonna
drivers, yeah.
have the hypercar,
And the GT3 is for the
GT3.
pros, and the GTE for the GTE AM, so just the
Yeah, amateur, yeah.
amateur, yeah. And that's going to be the last year for the GTEs because next year every other GTE AM driver is going to be on a GT3 car. Because remember, there's the rule on Le Mans that on the WEC that the GTAM teams can only have the the GT3 Pro cars after 1 year that the Pro teams
Are
have
using
used
them,
the
yeah.
cars.
So
So
the next year they're gonna use the GT3, and then 2024 they're gonna get the car. And the new Ferrari is gonna debut also the 296. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, I would say. And Dentella in the middle
yeah,
sector
Dentala is doing
is just
an
unbelievable.
amazing job, but I mean an amazing but useless job. While 39.7 is flying right now.
He improved the middle sector. Still not the best middle sector, but he improved. If he was close like 5 seconds to Guti, I would say Guti would have been in a
Big trouble.
so
Yeah.
much
But
pressure
I also
and trouble. Yep.
Yeah, but I also think that if Dentala was closer, Guti wouldn't be this slow. Uh,
You never know. You never know. He just
I don't know. That
managed.
seems to me that Guti is really managing right now. I mean, just by you have 12 seconds, you don't need to push. You are in front of the race, in front of the championship. You are gaining a lot of points on your direct rival, and you are probably going to virtually close the championship with this win. So why taking risks and push?
I would say yes and no, just because the first part of the race where Dentella managed to, I would say, block slash stay ahead of Gutierrez with the medium tires. That was a big role of the part of in this race, just because the soft tire they're half a second to 6-7 tenths faster than the medium. So that particular time, staying ahead of Kuti for even 25 minutes was very crucial. And his middle sector is just
Absolutely,
beautiful, I would say.
absolutely.
39.9. It's just so fast. And he's gonna gain again a couple of tenths, I would say, if Kuti don't make any mistake in the last sector. Because sometimes they match each other lap times, but
And this is
still.
an amazing lap from Dentella also because it just 2 tenths is lower on the first sector,
And yeah,
0.05 lower on the. Look at that, 144.7 with the best with the
last
purple
sector,
third sector. Yeah.
he gained 3 tenths in the last sector, so he managed to get back his gap from 18 second to 8 second with the pit stop and
Yeah.
all this stuff going around. And
I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking, what could have happened if Zentala took the risk of pitting like 1 lap before he did, and made
um
2 laps on the slick tires. I think that we could have been seeing a battle.
most likely, if I was Goody, I would have pitted the next lap, so maybe
Yeah.
he would have gained 3 second, 1 second more than before. But
You say when I
yeah,
see you think that Guti said, okay, when I see
him
Zentala
pitting,
pitting, I'll
yeah,
pit
I'm
the next
pitting,
lap.
yes. If I
Yeah,
was,
that's quite a nice move.
just because I would have waited, I had 18 seconds, so I can lose 5, 6, and I can even
Yeah,
lose
and
10
as we
seconds.
speak, sorry Sam, but as we speak, another 39.7 from Dentala. By the way, as we speak, I think that Guti is close to crossing the line because we are on the yeah, definitely. And Johnny Gutierrez taking the win here at VIR truck on Virginia International Raceway. Here he comes, Johnny Gutierrez winning and literally securing his championship. The Della P2, nice race by him. He probably is eating his own hands because He made a super job, and Joe Brown silently, but
After a long time.
deserving this third position and reopening the discussion for the pre P3 on the championship. Ed Jones ending his race behind the two leaders in P4, and Samuel Alpha, who lost the position from
Made
Jones because he was
mistake.
P4. Probably another mistake following Barrett Erickson and Andreas Siebel and Stephen Wenham. We saw them. They already crossed? I don't know.
No, they're
Probably no.
battling.
No, they're going. And Siebel right now is trying to attack Wenham for the P8. Andreas Siebel and Stephen Wenham, they were on the same strategy. They didn't try to go on the wet tires. They stayed out on the slick tires. And look at Siebel. But
Maybe better traction.
I don't know if no. I think that Winham keeps the place. 8th place for Stephen Winham and P9 for Andras Seibel. Um, I mean, nice race. Johnny Gutierrez probably virtually secured his championship right now. 20 points are a lot, and look at Dental probably going out right there,
I finished the
ending his
race.
race on the grass. Yeah, no. And I mean that this was quite a race, very fun race. Uh, Turning key was the rain coming down, was the key point probably for the race, and was the key alley for Johnny Gutierrez.
As you can see, this is the result. Johnny Gutierrez taking the win, so securing, taking one hands on the championship title. Dentella losing the P1, gained on the pole
We
position.
can say 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Joe Brown P3 after a long time, he gets back to the podium. Ed Jones with a great race, considering this season how he went. So great race for him, great result. Sanyo Alpha very impatient and P5 at the end of the day, but can be better. For sure, the potential is there, so he can be fighting for the P2, P1 with the pace he have. He just have to be very careful and very patient with the lapped car. Common holes taking that penalty with speed limiter and a few mistakes, but still P6. Barrett Erickson, after the first part of the race, I would say he lost a position just because too early pit stop in the first part of the race when he switched the wet tires to the soft tires, but he's the man. We know he can get back. He did a very great race in Monza, so for Pota I will not count him out. So for the P3 he will be fighting with Joe Brown and Sanyo Alpha. Stefan Wenham and Anders Siebel, they made a few mistakes, and especially staying out with the soft tire was not the right call, and they lost a lot of time. And very unlucky, last P10 guy, Matt Horst, he lost a connection, I would say, wrong moment, and was P6 at that moment, and those points would have been very important for the last race. Now he will be fighting with Joe Brown for the P3, and if Lorenzo Bettini back, can be also fighting with them. I would say for Virginia race, round 7 is this, and see you guys on the last race of the championship. Being have a great battle, one and Pete Garrett and Lorenzo Bettini, and let's see who will get the P3 last race. From Amir and Ricardo and Lorenzo
Yeah,
is all. You guys.
absolutely. Bye everyone. Bye everyone.